staring right back at me. I heard it running, and now we're just staring at each other. It's probably 75 yards away. Before I go get my water and wash my dinner dish from last night, I decided to fire harden the end of my walking stick a little bit, because one thing I found walking in here was that I would have to jam the stick into the ground and use, wherever that was as like a foothold going down the hills. And downhill, or returning is going to be mostly downhill. So I figured it'd be nice to have a good hard point on that so I can really jab it in and get myself a better foothold. Although I guess, if a bear ever came poking around, I could have something to poke it with. Yeah, right. That's a joke. Thinking an angry bear is going to be too afraid of a little stick. I suppose you could get a lucky shot, maybe get him in the eye. Then again, he'd probably just get more pissed off and maul you. First things first, before I can get water though, I really have to find where I hung my bear bag. It was pitch black when I stumbled off into the into the woods to try to figure out a spot. Oh wait. Right there. Cobweb. Treacherous ground though. Lots of rocks and then holes covered with leaves. It's a dangerous time of year to be trekking around here without at least a good walking stick. So that's where I hung it. I figured it'd be a good spot. It's not super high, but it's such a small tree, no bear is going to be able to climb it. So I figured it'd be perfect. So it's not super far from my camp, but if a bear came this close, I wouldn't be super terrified, you know what I mean? So, and as long as I don't have any reason for him to go up there and investigate by the fire, I'm not too worried about it. I'm really happy with this camp spot. To go find water. Although I'm pretty sure there's a nice little mountain stream down here, but from everything I've seen it looks like it's pretty dried up. So I'd rather just go to the sure thing, even though it's a little bit longer walk. That's right, I forgot I actually need my walking stick to get down there. I'll finish fire hardening it later. This would be a cool little nook to tuck into once you cleaned it out in a pinch. Lay some sticks over the top, create yourself a nice little emergency shelter. See, now this would be a nice rock to bring back to camp. carry that up, put it just so you can push coals underneath it. Use it as a nice flat cooking surface. That's one of the nice things about this area. There's a lot of these slate type rocks that just kind of break apart flat. I'm willing to bet that water is perfect to drink as it is. Tastes delicious. What did I forget? So I couldn't pass this up. I was down here getting some water and I saw this, which is really cool. I mean, look at all that birch bark. I mean, it's easily within arm's reach. But see, that kind of birch bark, you really have to process it down a lot to get it to take a spark from a ferro rod, or especially flint and steel. But I think that's called, I don't even know, I think it's just white birch. But then over here you have this stuff that has more of a golden color. Now this stuff is like paper thin. That will take a spark from a ferro rod. And so what I've done, since it really depends on what you need, I grabbed a big piece of the bark, or the bigger bark acts like a very good flame extender, whereas this stuff can act as a tinder to catch a spark. Great item to have. Definitely wasn't going to walk by it. Yes, it is. It's beautiful out. Out here to do? I do backwoods camping. Yep, I enjoy it. About 150 feet that way. Have a great day. So this is what I do for things like that. I could keep little tins. You know, I ordered a bunch of these little ones. So I'll just take this paper stuff, jam and pack that full. Try to get the lightest stuff, the thinnest as possible. I just really cram it in there. And I think that's about as much as it's going to hold. There. Now if I ever need some tinder in a pinch, I got it. I also need to char some new material because I'm empty on char cloth. But I want something thicker than this papery stuff. Now, another cool thing you can do, I'm going to set this aside. I'll show you what I'm going to do there. Okay, so I'm going to take this and just kind of stuff it down in here. This is where I put my stuff to start the fire. And because I am expecting some rain, what I generally do is I'll cover this area. Sorry, almost fell. So I'll just cover that with that birch bark, and that'll keep it dry in case it, I mean, anything other than like a severe downpour, it should keep it fairly dry. And that's another thing I like to use the birch bark for. That type of birch bark anyway, is just covering my fire starting materials. I bet they were asking about my camp, because if you continue down that trail for maybe another mile, there is a lean-to up there. That's probably taken by now. The camera, I'm sure, does not give justice to how steep that climb is. Well, I don't know how that little project I was starting to work on came out, because I looked at the camera and it was on like slow motion, no audio. I must have hit a couple buttons in my pocket. But I'll show you what I'm doing here. So I cut 3 even sticks. If you watched my last video, you could probably guess what I'm doing. Getting ready to set up my bushcraft stool. All I got to do is just gently round out these tops so that it won't damage my stool canvas, and then lash them together. Well, before my battery died, as you can see, I messed up. I lashed it up way too high, so I can't spread out the seat enough, really. Not for it to be comfortable, anyway. So, yeah. I'll have to redo the lashings. But you guys get the idea. That's how you make it. Just make sure you center the lashings a little more. For some reason, I thought it would work better if they were a little up higher. But this is my second attempt building it. First attempt, I learned don't use dead sticks because you'll end up on the ground because they will break. This, my second attempt, I learned need to lash it more in the middle. But man, it'll be nice to have somewhere to sit and cook my food. Hey, I wanted to show this little item. I'm sure you guys have seen these before. They're supposed to be like, you know, you go in your wallet just like a credit card. This one comes with a little bit of leather case. Inside it's got instructions, you know, describing what each, you know, little tool does and what its functions are. This one, absolute crap, I got to admit. First of all, yeah, it says stainless, but there's many grades of stainless steel. They advertise this corner right here as a screwdriver. I actually tried to use it as a screwdriver once, and you see what happened. It just chewed it up. Didn't even touch the screw. So that was useless. It's got a pretty good cutting edge here. So, I mean, you could use it as a cutting tool, I suppose. Maybe a tinder scraper here if it was something soft. But, you know, maybe if you do a lot of navigating, you could use this and a ruler. I mean, I've never needed a ruler when I'm out in the bush. So, yeah. I don't know what. Oh, yeah, and of course a bottle opener. So, in my opinion, useless. Do I carry it in my wallet? Yes, because it takes up no room. And it's an extra cutting edge. And maybe a tinder scraper. That's the only reasons I carry it. And a bottle opener. Not that I can't just use my lighter. But whatever. What I wanted to show you. This one. It was given to me with some items that I bought. And at first glance, I was like, oh, great, another one of these things. Throw it in the garbage. But I didn't throw it in the garbage. I just threw it in a box of like freebie stuff that, you know, I could give other people. But upon closer inspection of this, I actually really like this one. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 regular fish hooks. 2, now they're obviously only 2-sided instead of 3, but a couple treble hooks. You get a couple needles, which are always handy. Smaller needles. A little arrowhead you can pop out. I don't know how well the knife would work. Maybe it'd be better as like a spear point or something. Honestly, don't know what this little disc is for. And then again, a couple more needles, it looks like. And then a saw that looks a lot more effective than like the last one I just showed you in any case. Like that looks like you could actually notch out like a fireboard or something with it. Or if you were creating a trap and you just needed to create, you know, a little notch to create that deadfall trap or whatever. That looks like it could actually work. So yeah, I was actually pretty impressed with this. Just wanted to share that with you guys. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't dismiss these because the only downside again that I have with this one is that this one fits in my wallet, right? You can see it's very credit card size, whereas this one quite a bit larger. I can't fit it in my wallet. So there's that. And because it's such thin steel, because it's made to be a, you know, punch out the pieces, I'm afraid to, what I do is I put it in this plastic case with my little cheese grater slash tinder cutter shredder. So I put them both in there, and that way the plastic keeps them from getting bent. Anyway, just thought you guys might find that interesting as well. So here's my fire pit, and when I made it, this rock here is quite large, and there's another one there, and I blocked it off with this flat rock here, so nothing can kind of get through that side. So that's obviously where I keep my little kindling wood. But on this side here, when I was poking around the fire this morning, I noticed that it was really soft, and I don't know if there's roots down there or anything that could spread the fire down and out, you know, this way. But you know, there's trees over here, and there's could be roots, so I'm gonna line that with stone. Luckily, there's many of these flat style stones. So I'll start small so that they lay really nice in there, and then I'll start grabbing some of these. See what I mean about all these little flat rocks? I mean, you could make a pretty nice fire pit with these. You just gotta break them loose. Ugh. Okay, they're growing into the tree. I just realized that the tree is growing right around those, so they're not coming out. Nope. But you don't have to go far. Should be easier if I had two hands. Well, that one's not as flat as I was hoping. Same with that one. I'm going to leave that one because that one's even bigger. But those little ones come in handy also. This would make a nice front wall. Yeah, that'd make a great wall to a fire pit. That's a pretty good sized rock there. I got 11.5 size shoe. And I already stacked some over here as well. So yeah, I'm gonna build this fire pit. At least like I said, line that bottom real quick. And then I haven't decided whether or not I want to fix my stool or just get it cooking. I know it'd really be nice to have somewhere to sit while I was cooking. Dragged over some firewood. Looks like pretty good wood too. But that'll be good for cooking my food over. I'll save it for that. I don't like cooking over pine. Too much ash gets in your food. Too many sparks to fly, and you're trying to stand near the fire. Look at that. I found almost a nearly perfect fit. This rock here. That's a perfect Lining for the bottom brings the whole fire pit a little more level. I'm thrilled with that. And if I find a couple of little more chipstones, I'll throw them in the little cracks there. Check out my little invention. I needed a flat surface. There's really, not many good options for flat surfaces around here to set stuff on. So I just created myself a little table. Found a rock flat on one side, leveled out the other side, and it actually is quite level. Well, off and on, it's been starting to look like rain, honestly. It's gotten kind of cloudy, a little bit darker, and a little bit earlier, there was some raindrops falling. So I kind of switched gears away from fixing my stool and cooking just yet, although I am starved. But I wanted to get some firewood stockpiled before, just in case it does rain. So I'm just quickly cutting some up. Got a nice little sawhorse right here, kind of to crook these two little trees. Yeah, also the wind's picking up too, so yeah, I definitely want to get some firewood situated here. Wasn't supposed to rain yesterday or today. Today's Friday. Sunday and Monday it was supposed to rain. But it's only Friday around noon now, so I'm not too worried about it, but better safe than sorry. You can never trust the weatherman. I got this nice piece of firewood here to cut up. That's pretty nice. It's probably a good 5, 6, 7 inches thick towards up there. Shoot, the end's probably 8 inches, 9. And I'm saving this for like an emergency, for like when it does rain. I got all those little branches that I could just snap off, cut off, and throw in the fire to keep it going. There's another nice piece of oak down there. I don't know if you could see it. See it laying, the one that goes up like this. It's a good one. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to go far. That's nice. Here's a little piece of firewood. I always try to, like for burning in the day, I like to burn the less than good wood. So I take the stuff that's not completely dry and I just ring the fire with it. Let it dry out, and because it's not great wood anyway, once it's dry, I just throw it in. That's how I roll. Alright, what next? Alright, so I relaunched them more towards the center. This should be what I needed. Looks better already. Whoop, it's sinking in a little farther that direction. I like to point the legs so they don't spread out, but now that is better. There. That's perfect. I can sit here, I can cook, and just relax. I mean, the hammock's nice, but I can sit in there, but I can't cook. Excuse me. I can't cook from there. It took me a couple hours to get that thing made, but you know, when you got weather like this, you don't have to spend all day gathering firewood. You know what I mean? You have time to do extra things. That's one of the reasons, like when I'm doing my winter camping trips, it's really hard to film a lot because I'm so busy doing stuff just to make sure I don't freeze to death. I mean, I don't know. I like to go out when it's really cold. Like last winter, there was one. It was negative 24 degrees Fahrenheit. But most of the time, I don't go unless it's below zero. I don't like any warmer than that. I don't like it when it's around like 32 degrees Fahrenheit and you know, just barely freezing, because then you get snow, sleet, freezing rain, you get drenched, the snow itself soaks through everything. I don't want that. I want 0 degrees. Snow just brushes right off, you know what I mean? That's what I like. Alright, so breakfast. Well, now lunch, going on dinner. Let's see what we got. Well, first of all, it dawned on me, I still have not even had my morning coffee yet. So that's a given. Gotta make my coffee. You know what kind of coffee I like. These little guys. It's not instant. It's in like a tea bag. But tastes just like real fresh coffee. Weighs absolutely nothing. Same as instant coffee. It's just way more delicious. So yeah, I don't believe in instant coffee. I would rather make like pine needle tea or something like that. Even though there's no caffeine in it. So, yeah, coffee, and then cheddar cheese Nor's mac and cheese, and Starkist buffalo chicken creations. Bold. Except we're going to add a secret ingredient. that I got from Wendy's yesterday. Well, the day before. Hot chili seasoning. Make it even a little more spicy. I figured it'd be easier to bring that than some Frank's Red Hot sauce. That's the last thing I need is Frank's Red Hot spilling all over my backpack. I had to happen with butter my last trip, which is why I have my butter right now literally hanging in a tree where it's getting cool air so it doesn't melt. Ooh, that reminds me, I have one more secret ingredient to that recipe. So my secret ingredient, oh yeah, extra sharp orange cheddar cheese. It's got to be the orange kind for like something like this kind of mac and cheese, because I don't care what people say, orange tastes different to me. And I know what you're thinking, like, oh, but now you're going to have to slice all that cheese up with your knife, and it's not going to melt as fast. Au contraire. I have this little tinder scraper. Haven't used it yet. Haven't tried it. But I figured it would be great for, like I do in my fire starting kit, I have a chunk of tinder fungus, and I figured that grater would be absolutely perfect for getting a nice dust off of it. But I haven't needed to use it yet. I've had other fire starters. That's actually probably, besides the birch bark I just grabbed, that's all I got left right now is that emergency fire tinder. So yeah, I'm gonna get cooking. I just realized though, before I can get cooking, I gotta get this fire going with some good wood so I can get some good coals in there. I don't want to cook over this punky ass, sorry my language, I don't want to cook over this nasty punky wood. I'll get rid of this stuff. Yeah, I gotta move this stuff I've been drying. Guess I could set it up there, let it dry up there for a little bit. Sorry, I'm carrying you around. I don't have anywhere to set you at the moment. Yuck. This one actually, that looks fairly dry. Might throw that in just to get the fire going a little bit more. And some good wood. I hate it when they don't go where you want them to go. There. Thank you. Speaking of secret weapons, I got my little pocket bellows here, but something like that, I like a bigger tool for the job. These things are awesome. Plus, another nice thing I like about this, right before you cook, you use something like this and it blows all that loose ash right out of there, so it doesn't keep going in your food. Instead, it just goes all in your face. But, and I know you guys are saying, oh, a little ash never hurt nobody. Yeah, but Food without ash never hurt nobody either, and it's pretty easy to get rid of it. There. I don't know where this little rock came from, but I guess we'll just stick him there for now. Nope, he doesn't want to stay there. Okay. Put him in our rock pile. At some point tonight I will build up that fire pit a little bigger because, you know, the more rocks you have, the more rocks heat up, the longer it radiates heat. And I could definitely notice, you know, the chill in the air. Around 3 a.m. I woke up with a little chill and the fire was mostly out, just a little glow, you know. So even, I mean, it doesn't look very close to my hammock, but even that far away, I could tell when that fire was going and when it was dead. Alright, I'm going to kill the camera till I get cooking. Just want to add to, also, I'm going to keep my eyes open for interesting stuff. Like, I find stuff all the time. I found a nice, I'll input a picture right now with this. It was a chicken of the forest mushroom, giant, like half a beach ball size, and I wasn't able to identify it right there. I didn't know what it was. At first I thought it might have been golden oysters until I got closer and saw it had no gills on the bottom. So I left it, and I'm kicking myself. If it's still there next week, I'll try to get it, but I know mushrooms, they don't last that long, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, stuff like that. I would love to take a walk around, see if I can find some interesting stuff. I don't have a lot of knowledge when it comes to wild edibles and medicines. Lately I've been working with black walnuts and black walnut husks. I've been trying to actually take Dave Canterbury's advice and start with trees. The problem though this year is that it's been such a great year for nuts and mushrooms that I keep finding them, and I'm like, well, I gotta ID this. So I've been learning a little bit of everything the past couple months, but I guess once the snow falls, I'll primarily be back to learning just trees. And I really do believe that's a good way to go about it, just because you can really kind of compartmentalize and not overwhelm yourself with too much knowledge. And it's blah 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 blah. All right. Okay, I've got all my ingredients out. I'm going to show you step by step how I make this. In case you haven't guessed, we are making buffalo chicken mac and cheese. We need 2 cups of water, or sorry, 1.5 cup of water and 1/2 cup of milk. Now, as you see, I have no carton of milk here, obviously. I did not hike in with milk. Big surprise, right? But I know this cup is 2 cups altogether, which 1/2 cup of water and 1/2 cup of milk equals 2 cups. And these little things are going everywhere. So now, how do we get the milk? Ah, no. Wind's picking up. It's trying to blow all those little things into my water. Powdered creamer. Nothing special. It's not like powdered milk or anything like that. It's just powdered creamer, but I kind of like the taste of powdered creamer. And I'll tell you, I make this at home. If I make it with milk, I don't notice a difference really. So I just add in a little of this. Well, I know how much to add, but if it was my first time, I would fill this and leave about a quarter cup in here, or sorry, a half a cup in here, and just mix it until it looked like regular milk. And that's how I would know I had enough. Milk and a tablespoon of margarine. And they even say the margarine itself is optional too. But yeah, right. I don't like margarine first off, so I'm using real butter. But second, can't have buffalo chicken mac and cheese without some butter. I mean, I would do without if it was summertime. And it was too hot to bring butter. Like I tried this past summer. Didn't work out well. And bring to a boil. And I didn't bring my whole barbecue this time, but I did bring the little rack. A little folding spatula. This thing's great. It weighs nothing. Takes up hardly any room in your mess kit. I feel like I'm gonna have to fend off all the leaves. Ah, it's filled with those pine things. This is so not fair. Why now are we getting hurricane winds? Oh my goodness. No. Oh my god. Ah. There's so many in there. What was that? Thanks a lot. Ugh. I'm gonna get them out of there now. It's gonna taste like pine needle and leaf mac and cheese. You gotta be kidding. There was not this much wind since I've been here. Never. Look at that mess. Really? Come on. Problem is, if I boil with the lid on, it's so hot to take the lid off. Because this isn't really a lid, it's a bowl, it has no handle. Alright, let me just try to get it on there. It shouldn't take long for it to boil and then just be done. My plan was to let that start boiling, and I was going to grate up my cheese. So how's that starting to look? Starting to thicken up a little. I'm going to give those noodles a little longer, because I know they like to take their time. My other camera died, so I don't know how much you guys actually saw of me preparing it, but let me get that other camera up and running. I try to always put things away as I'm done using them. It makes for less running around like a chicken with your head cut off if all of a sudden it starts to downpour, or you know, you lose light and then you're scrambling trying to find everything and you end up losing stuff.
So now I need to just simply, not that water, this water. Oh, jeez. That's an ankle twister right there. Measure out my water. I always take a little bit more because I assume as it boils I'm going to lose a little bit, you know. Transfer this to my pot. This way I'm not boiling any more water than I need to, so it gets done quicker. Let's see how we did with this guy. This guy should be pretty much done. Oh wow, that wants to slide. I'm gonna have to fix that. We must elevate, descend. I'm still keeping coals over here so that I'm not burning my hand having to reach across the whole fire. Forget that. That'll raise it up. Perfect. Oh yeah. Now that's some buffalo chicken mac and cheese right there. Ooh, it even started to get that brown crispy from the bottom. I've never cooked it that long before. But this is a Teflon pan, so it don't stick. I'll bet you that's gonna taste delicious. I gotta try one of those lightly browned ones. Because it's got the real cheese in it. Man, I've never added real cheese to this when I was camping before. Okay. Need to keep that free of pine needles and whatnot, and warm until my coffee's ready. I consider that like my warming zone, but really I need a better rock for right here. That way I could shove little coals under there and that whole rock would stay nice and warm. I need something like this, but a little bigger. I'm gonna go find that before I cook again. Mm. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to eat that. That tastes delicious. And I haven't even added the secret ingredient yet. I don't know. Frank's Red Hot is what I would normally add, but like I said, I wasn't going to carry that around. Mm. Yeah, I should get my coffee ready. Yes, that spot to put my coffee cup is not an accident. That was done on purpose. Creamer and sugar is one thing I recommend also. If you have well, for example, I have a can of corned beef hash, and obviously this can isn't going to burn away in the fire, but what I do is after I'm done, I'll throw it in the fire, let it burn overnight, and then take it out the next morning. That way I don't have to hang this can in a tree, because any food smell, residue, whatever has been burnt right out of it for the past 8-10 hours. Works really good if you're in bear country, which there's quite a few black bears here in the Catskills. And this time of year is when they're scrounging. All the berries are starting to die off, you know. Bears are getting hungry. Got to put on those pounds before the snow falls. So they're desperate, or some could be desperate, I should say. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say all bears are just in some kind of rampage right now, but yeah, some could definitely be, you know, desperate if they hadn't had a great season, which happens to everybody. You know, even people that live off the land homesteading, they often sometimes just can't get that big kill they need. Oh, wait, what do we have here? Coffee! You know, people pay like 20-30 bucks for a little grate like this. I sell the whole barbecue. Whole stainless steel. You can use charcoal, wood. And this is, you know, this is as big as the top of it is. It's a small little charcoal grill. But I'll tell you what, I sell that thing for $19. And, you know, why not? Why buy a grate for 20 bucks when you get the grate and the barbecue? Not much, not a whole lot of interest in them though. Yeah, this little, what is it? S-Bit, I guess is the brand. I don't know, a buddy of mine gave it to me. The whole cook set. I was like, well, thanks. It even came with it uses those white little fuel pellets, you know, so it's got like a little burner that it sits on, and you put the little white rectangle pellets in there and light them. You know, I keep it, like I said, just for an emergency. Like if I got stuck out there for a night, maybe I was, you know, even if I couldn't make a fire somewhere, or if it was pouring rain, I could set up a tarp and still cook something underneath that tarp. If I was having that miserable night that I was living off of just that green bag there, tell you what, a nice hot drink would definitely calm the mind a little bit, because I wouldn't be a happy camper if I had to just survive off that. Could be done though. I actually lied. It's actually a combination of two bags. Not this particular one, but I have an identical bag to this. And has a couple other items like a rain poncho. But the cool thing about this is it has a belt that you can attach this and those other 2 bags to as well. So I would only need this in the 1 bag. Blah 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 blah. Anyway, coffee time. I like to let my coffee steep for a while. But then again, I'm also usually drinking it in the morning, so I want it strong. Right now it's only, it's 4:30 almost, so I don't know. Getting a little late for coffee, you know what I mean? That's alright. It'll give me some energy to grab all that firewood over there, grab that big stuff over there. I'm not sitting in the smoke. Oh, I wish you guys could smell that. Mmm. Mmm. Man, all I had yesterday, since I left my house to come here at 10 a.m., was half a bag of instant mashed potatoes last night. Because it was so late, I didn't want to cook anything crazy. This, oh, I haven't tried the spicy seasoning yet. I love me some chili peppers, but will they go with buffalo mac and cheese is the question. Let's try just a little bit. Yeah, you know what? It would be great for chili. Not so good for this. It has a very strong chili, chili pepper flavor. It's really good, don't get me wrong, but not with buffalo wings. So I wonder if I dump this stuff around my campsite in little droplets, would it attract a bear or would it repel the bear? You know what, I think that's one I'll research before I go and try. Yeah, I'm sure that's steeped long enough. Shoot, I need my spoon. Oh, that's good coffee. But I can let that sit for a little bit because that thick plastic cup, the reason I kept that from that little Coleman cook set, that green mug keeps your drinks hot for quite a while. Unlike this aluminum pan, so I better get started on this.
So, with a full belly and my coffee in me, I decided to get to work. I hauled up a bunch of firewood. Some's drying out, but some of it's just solid like this. Got a bunch of stuff over here that needs to be broken down. Lots of really nice big logs I cut a tree in half to get. A lot more to cut up. Dragged them all up here. Didn't have to go that far, they were only right down there. But it was getting chilly, so I put on this jacket and now I'm getting a little warm. This neck buff makes a huge difference though. This is merino wool. Man, you put that on, you feel much warmer. It just stops all the heat from leaving your carotids. Works good though when it's cold. Right now I'm about ready to take it off again though. Sun's going down. Not much left. Did somebody say more firewood? Heck yeah. Well, you can see smoke. But I'm burning all the rotted, the more rotted, more punky stuff right now. But this here, all this stuff I dragged up, that'll probably equal about 30 pieces about that size. Got all this little stuff to break down too. And I got some overnighter logs. I already split one end of this. I'll probably split this one too, because I figure even if I just cut it in half, it'll burn a lot better through the night. Leftover dinner for a midnight snack. Well, not midnight, but evening snack. I just add a little bit of water and reheat it. Comes out delicious, just like fresh. Can you see the eyes? I see eyes staring right back at me. I heard it running, whatever it was. And now we're just staring at each other. It's probably 75 yards away, right in my light. Right there. Shit, smoke's in the way. There. Wow, look at that. Can you see the eyes? Staring right back at me. I heard it running, whatever it was. There. Shit, smoke's in the way. There. Wow, look at that. Well, some of my videos there of whatever that was didn't record. I eventually yelled and clapped my hands. And it was funny because I thought it went away because the eyes just stopped glowing. But then I realized it just closed them for a second and then reopened them. And something I want to point out, these were both front looking eyes. I don't know if a deer, if you would see both their eyes if they were looking directly at you, or if they're more like a rabbit where on the sides of their head. Can't really picture it right now. But then I saw him, he took off. The only problem is he took off in the direction of where I just hung my food bag, my bear bag. I hear you. Get out of here. Ugh.